Whether it's a house that doubles as a fortified surveillance system or a full host of bodyguards that look like an army, if there's one thing wealthy people love spending more money on than their yachts, it is themselves. Given that many former CEOs have been assassinated or kidnapped, it is understandable why they would go to great lengths to protect themselves. Today, we're gonna go take a look at the top 5 most closely protected CEOs in the world. Starting with number 1, Bill Gates. It's not surprising that the owner and co-founder of Microsoft doesn't negotiate on his protection, whether it's protecting himself or his relatives. As one of the biggest players in the tech sector since its beginnings and without question, one of the most powerful individuals of the last era, it's understandable why safety and security matter so much. To get a clue of just how massively unbelievable security is, you don't need to look any further than his positive surveillance-based Lake Washington mansion, with an estimated cost of well over $100 million. When you consider that he has a net worth of $136 billion and is one of the most significant figures in the tech world, it comes as no surprise, then, that the building is outfitted with the technology it has. The house, which is already a glamorous and highly innovative wonder to behold, is constantly being watched by humans, and since it is located on a lake, that site is carefully watched as well. For instance, if any boater gets overconfident and tries to get fairly close to the house, the security team of Gates will immediately confront them in a boat that is always ready for their optimum response time. Number 2. Tim Cook. Tim Cook has been no pushover either. With the company increasing in value at a swift pace during his tenure, he is an important commodity to the most valuable company in the world, even despite the fact that Steve Jobs will always be the image of Apple. It is not surprising that Apple would allocate a significant amount of money to Tim Cook's protection, but the precise budget is shocking. As per media stories, the Californian tech giant spent $457,833 on Cook's private security in 2019 alone. This is an increase of 104% from the $310,000 spent in 2018. This protection includes high-security automobiles, security officers, and surveillance. One of the times when these types of people are most susceptible is when they are traveling, so it makes sense that security expenses would increase. As it turns out, Cook's travel expenses increased last year by 239% to $315,311 and are likely due to his efforts to shield Apple from the worst effects of the US-China trade war. Number 3. Donald Trump. Donald Trump is known for his protection, measures, and wealth. However, you might be amazed at just how much further his network extends, from a large team of armed and trained Secret Service agents to a squad of armored cars to accompany him places when he's president. It quickly became apparent that the man wasn't really all that surprised to become the leader of the country back when he was president. In fact, most news and stories indicate that his security system was so strict that each member of the former president's family had its own 24-hour security team, in addition to the team that is solely responsible for protecting him. You can get a hint of this from the reality that in the early years of his presidency, while he himself absolutely loved the authorized security of the office, his family and he were all in danger. His son, who decided to stay in the family Trump Tower in New York, appreciated the building's overall state-of-the-art network security as well. And then there's the limo that the world adores, and rightfully so. The model is designed based on the Cadillac CT6 platform, but that's where the comparison ends because this car has fully armed windows, blood vials for anyone who rides, extra thick steel covering, and a whole bunch of other things. It was built by GM, especially for him when he was president. Now that he is no longer president, I'm sure he still has to have a security close by. Number 4. Jeff Bezos. Bezos has previously claimed the spot of the richest man in history and is the founder of the enormous companies like Amazon, so it goes without saying that he warrants the highest level of safeguarding. He appears to be receiving it, as evidenced by Amazon's own documents that the company spends $1.6 million annually on his security. But that isn't the most crucial detail because it turns out that figure hasn't just adjusted since 2012. A spokesperson for Amazon confirmed that Bezos makes different payments for his personal protection, which contradicts the belief that he devotes more on security given that his actual significance and more notably, his overall worth have grown by hundreds of billions of dollars. Regarding the security safeguards currently in place, It is known that Bezos has bulletproof sheets fitted in his workplace, which is located in his own building and is staffed by hundreds of guards and employees who are already paid by him. This information was found in a Seattle City planning permit that would have gone unnoticed had the Daily Beast not noticed that it revealed the request for the mounting of bulletproof panels in Bezos' office in November 2018 and was given permission in January 2019. To demonstrate how absurd that is, the frames would have cost $200,000 to install at the time, and they can endure repeated fire from a military-grade assault rifle. Returning to his discretionary personal finances, however, to see how particularly worried he is about safety, considering the time in 2019 when a few private texts between our good friend Mr. Bezos and former TV anchor Lawrence Sanchez were released publicly through the National Enquirer. This compelled Bezos to recruit his private security chief Gavin Debecker to probe the source of the leak, and for that intent, rather than offering to pay him a large bonus, he did what you'd anticipate and wrote him a blank check. If you think that's excessive, the revelation actually comes straight from Debecker, who wrote the Daily Beast and claimed that Bezos had instructed him to spend as much money as necessary to discover the circumstances surrounding how the Enquirer was able to acquire his texts. After a thorough investigation, however, another aspect of Bezos' was made public: his high-profile adversaries. The Bezos-owned Washington Post journalist Jamal Khashoggi was killed by the Saudi consulate as retribution for the leak, according to forensics experts, who have high confidence in this theory. If that wasn't enough, when Amazon founder Jeff Bezos' phone was discovered to have been compromised in early 2020, the forensics analysis of the device disclosed that in May 2018, he had been hacked via WhatsApp, most likely by Saudi Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman. If that doesn't demonstrate how well protected Bezos is, and if the truth is that even an entire government can't cover it up when he's around, then I don't know what does. Number 5. Mark Zuckerberg. Last but not the least, we have Mark Zuckerberg, the original slightly odd CEO whose protection costs Facebook $23 million. That's right, he spends over 10 times as much on security as Jeff Bezos does, at least formally, making him one of the most well-guarded individuals in the world. Now, a big reason for this outrageous operational costs was the spectacular failure that was in 2018. With the disclosures about Facebook's careless playing with private information and an uproar against the CEO, the company invested heavily into defending him, apparently splurging $10 million in self-safety for Zuckerberg in that year alone, an increase of $2.5 million from the previous year. The firm pumped millions into guarding him. And if that somehow sounds grossly inadequate, he was also given a pre-tax allowance worth $10 million just for the additional costs they may incur for him and his family's security. Because he is associated with Facebook, the management chose to spend a significant amount on Zuckerberg's heavy security, claiming that negative sentiment regarding our company is directly associated with and often transferred to Mr. Zuckerberg, in an SEC filing to explain why on earth that would be necessary. Although the issue was ultimately resolved, it appears that the CEO acquired a taste for that level of protection because the cost persisted into 2019, and in fact, went up during the startlingly quiet year that was 2019. According to a proxy filing from April 2020, it showed that the business was spending about $23 million on Zuckerberg's security and travel expenses. What does the protection necessarily involve? Well, as per Industry Insider, Rob Price, Zuckerberg and his estate are guarded around the clock by trained and equipped executive enforcement officers who stay outside his Bay Area homes. Yes, that's homes in plural. If that's not enough, one of the homes is reportedly fitted with a panic room. One source even claimed to have been kept in the loop on the passageway's presence and utilization in the event of an emergency. If that doesn't sound like fun, I don't know what does. That takes care of the majority of the list, but there's a small asterisk that conceals the most well-protected CEO of them all: Elon Musk. Ever since the safety requirements were divulged in a tweet in November 2018, pertaining to his new business, The Boring Company, there is no disputing that Elon knows protection, as he wanted to hire a quote-unquote knight to scream and shout insults at people in a French accent. If that doesn't seem strange, we don't know what is. Which one is your favorite founder or CEO on our list? What are your thoughts on the insane security measures these guys have to take to stay protected? Let us know in the comments below. If you like this type of content, be sure to subscribe to Ultimate Luxury, like, comment, and hit the notification bell so you can stay up to date on future videos. See you in the next one.